3, 2, 1,
Doing an action movie, the drama's really serious and stakes are high.
Mechanic Resurrection takes him all over the world, from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, to Sydney, Australia, to Varna and the islands in Thailand.
It's a lot of action set pieces you have never seen before. Bishop is a little bit in between James Bond and Jason Bourne.
In this movie, you'd see a little glimpse of what makes him tick.
You're always looking to build that character and to take him in a new direction. That's really the challenge in the sequel.
It gives people a chance to see a true action hero at work.
You're a hard man to find. The principal I represent has an offer for you. You'd like 3 men killed. Each death must look like an accident. Your specialty, I believe.
Mechanic is an anti-hero. He's the type of person that you want to root for, but at the same time, he's an assassin.
While Bishop lives in a violent world, he is still a man of honor. There is something about the knight errant in him.
Let it go.
The man who sometimes has to be the toughest, the hardest man so that justice can prevail. It's a very fine line to show why the mechanic does what he has to do and yet show the human face of the individual. And this is why in this movie we start Bishop when he's left that profession. Jason is the mechanic, he owns that role. There is an intensity to Jason that is absolutely compelling. You can't take your eyes off the man when he's on the screen.
I love watching Jason kick ass and be that stoic, brooding kind of dude. I just love how sweet and receptive he is as well. He's like one of the blokes.
Jason represents the everyman, and an action hero who represents the man on the street can be related to by the audience. People want to see one of their own be a hero.
Jason knows this character in and out, and we have a lot of discussions on set where he said, okay, is it really in character? And often I must say, yeah, you're right. And what I can bring into this project is sometimes to really push the character out of its comfort zone and to show the audience new parts of this character.
Jessica Alba portrays Gina in the movie, which is a complete change from the first movie in that Bishop now has someone he cares about besides himself.
She's ex-military, but she's retired. And in her second chapter of her life, she runs a shelter for victims of human trafficking. And she is blackmailed into being involved in some shady business with Bishop.
One of my staff members was beaten. Crane said it was just a taste of what he'd do to everyone at the shelter, including the children.
In my opinion, she's the perfect protagonist to drag Bishop back into his own line of work.
I don't know if there are very many women that would be that interesting to Bishop because he's so smart and he's so dominant, but there's more to her than just the girl that needs to be saved. They sort of have met their match, and it's neat to see that.
and action!
Jessica Alba had no inhibitions, and she throws a punch like a man. She has that just natural ability to throw a punch, to react, to look shocked, to take a punch, hit the ground. She's absolutely superb.
I've taken many different martial arts over the years. I did Krav Maga to train for this, and I just wanted it to be brutal and real, and I think we've accomplished that, especially with Vic Armstrong shooting all the action.
I'm absolutely overwhelmed by her ability and her enthusiasm. If she wasn't such a good actress, she would make a wonderful stunt woman.
Our characters are very strong people and stubborn people, and then they're thrown into this circumstance where they have to be close. And I think it's funny to see two people resisting it, and then you see them have a breakthrough.
Chemistry was just right, and all the actors just after the first two takes just sort of had the ability to just let it go, and we created very natural, interesting moments.
Dennis has a background doing more art house films, so I appreciate him really being able to identify the emotional moments.
I enjoyed very much to see Bishop's character, which I have never seen before in such a way. And I think this is one of the elements which makes this action movie so special. The amount of action is so much, it's unbelievable. So my work in the beginning was really to think about, okay, what kind of action set pieces I want and how they should look like. But I'm really, really happy that I have Jason, who is really the master of action, who helps me a lot, and B, that I have Vic Armstrong, which is a legend, one of the best second unit directors and action specialists in the world.
On this film, I'm the action director. My overall job is to shoot as much of the action as possible. We've got a fabulous stunt crew here, run by Alan Poppleton, who've worked everything out. They've been preparing and rehearsing, and so my job is to liaise with Alan Poppleton and his crew, Dennis, the main unit director, and Jason Statham, the star. So we get the complete combination of the right action in this genre. My whole life has been on franchises. I've worked on some of the most iconic ones, from Superman to Indiana Jones to James Bond, Charlie's Angels and Spider-Man. As far as action goes, every film has to be original. Everything's been done before, but you can put certainly a lot of different slants and flavors on it. Bond is Bond, Indiana Jones is Indiana Jones. Charlie's Angels, they were different. The mechanic obviously has his template for how he operates, so that's all taken into account with the storytelling that we do, the way we choreograph the stunts, the way Jason performs them. It's a huge challenge to come up with something that people will look at and go, wow, that was refreshing, that was cool, that was great. We open the movie with a fantastic action sequence.
There's only so many ways you can take out bad guys, you know, with your hands or with weapons, and you know, it can get repetitive, so you have to make it look a little bit inventive and quite smart, because Bishop's a guy that kind of processes things as he goes along. So a lot of the action, we're trying to look like he's improvising with the set or the scene or the location around him.
I really enjoy the Sugarloaf Cafe scenes where Bishop just uses everything in a restaurant to get past the bad guys.
Vic was creating action sequences that we didn't even envision when the script was written, and we've got some interesting stunts that we think you're all gonna love, including something that happens on hang glider.
We're now in a sub-pen, which to me takes me back to my very first Bonds. It's got a very, very Bondian feel to it, but at the same time keeping the mechanic flavor. People ask me, what is the best visual effect you've seen in a film? And I always say, the one I didn't realize was a visual effect. And that is the secret, getting an effect that looks realistic, and it's just done to enhance the movie.
It's really challenging and fun because you can come up with new ideas. For example, the cantilever pool. It's really a lot of action you have never seen before.
I hope at the end of this movie, the audience will walk out and go, wow, that was great fun.
I think we're making a richer, more exciting action film, which is not only for the typical action audience, but broader and for a lot of people.
It was the opportunity to take Mechanic to the next level, to put Bishop on an international stage, and to have him do far more dangerous and exotic stunts. You're along for this incredible ride whenever Jason's on screen.